Hi, and this is a new episode of the Bud Rebel podcast, a podcast like no other, because not only we have amazing guests, but we have some really weird facts, we have issues, business concepts, things I hate, and we also have weird thoughts and also always a nice conclusion that leaves you feeling good at the end. And with today's news, the gentleman I have right now is a very interesting guest because we'll talk more about where he came from and all that information. But let me get a little background. And his name is Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I know we'll talk about how you when you became really famous. But before you did that, tell us about your background and what you do and all that other stuff.
Yeah, Jeffrey Allen, born and raised in Ohio, so grew up in the Midwest. Had a big family, had four sisters, and just kind of a normal upbringing, kind of normal post-college experience where I just had worked as an employee, and then I kind of moved out to California about a decade and a half ago, and kind of everything changed for me about a year ago this time.
Okay, now before we get to that, what were you doing? What were you doing in California?
Yeah, I led sales teams. So I've been in healthcare, kind of sales and business development. And so my kind of forte is sales and marketing.
Okay. Now, Jeffrey, sales, marketing, very normal, ordinary life seems to be. But in a
Yeah.
moment, everybody, in a moment, we're going to back and you're going to hear how his life changed in one of the most dramatic ways you can think of. Okay, we're back, Jeff. Okay, tell us about a year ago when things changed dramatically.
Yeah. So when I think back to spring of 24, I got laid off from my job. I was leading a sales team, kind of had struggle and challenges getting funding. So I was one of the bigger expenses. They cut me, and I'm sitting here without a job. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? And earlier that year, my 9-year-old son introduced me to Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast is the biggest YouTuber in the world. Currently has like 380 million subscribers. So I started watching videos of him with my son. And then like a couple weeks after I got laid off, I saw an application to be on Mr. Beast Games,
Can you
which
tell us
was
more about Mr. Beast and his Beast games, for those that are not familiar with them?
yeah, so for those who aren't familiar with Mr. Beast, he is in his mid 20s and is kind of a modern day like some call him a modern day Walt Disney, meaning he is an amazing content creator and loves to build content for people of all ages. He is the number one YouTuber in the world, so has the most subscribers of anybody
Even more
in the
than
world.
me.
Even more than you, I think a little bit more than you, a little bit. Um,
Good job.
but his videos are the most watched in the world. And he had kind of this crazy idea to go, I want to have the largest competition reality game show of all time. The most competitors, the most money ever given away, the largest cash prize ever. And usually when he puts his mind to something, it actually comes to fruition. So I saw Mr. Beast wanted to do something called the Beast Games, which was that largest competition reality show. And I go, you know what? I just got laid off. My son loves this. I want to apply. And my son who loves Mr. Beast has a little brother named Lucas who's got a rare genetic brain disorder. And so I kind of go, okay, if I sign up and I get on this, maybe I can tell the world about Lucas's condition and be the cool dad for Jack. It's like a win-win. Like I get to help out both sons. So I pressed apply, um, and had a couple interviews, had to complete some paperwork, and lo and behold, I get accepted. And now I'm in this
What,
competition show.
before I go any further, what is the application process like?
Yeah, it was I had to submit a video to tell them why I want to be on Beast Games, why they should accept me, what I would do if I won $1 million. And after that, I had to record another video, had to complete a social media, a background check, kind of a health and wellness check, another set of forms. So it was pretty comprehensive.
How long a
Um,
time period is this?
th all this happened probably over like a month period.
A month. And when you do this video, is it like a professional shot video, just like you're sitting from your computer type video?
I did it literally sitting where I'm at right now. And like I didn't have even the filtered background. Like my office was kind of a mess. It was the last day it was due. So
Wow.
I saw the application, I put it on my whiteboard, like, I think it might have been May 31st, put it in my phone, and like the alarm came on. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I have to do this. I have to get this done. And so it was not edited well, no kind of special effects. And I saw some other people's videos that were amazingly well done. Um, so I just crossed my fingers that I get a call back, and fortunately I did.
So all of a sudden you get picked to be on this show. Now, where's the show taking place?
So the show took place last summer, July, August, and September.
And what does it different states or where is it?
Yeah, so the first, like, I thought I was walking into a competition show with 1,000 people, but when I arrived in Vegas, I literally found out an hour before we kind of had to turn in our phones that it was 2,000 people.
Wow.
In Vegas, it was the goal was to get from 2,000 to 1,000. So it was kind of like I consider it like the preseason. So we were trying to earn a spot to be on the Amazon Prime show. So
Do they pay you to go to Vegas? They give you the flight or
yeah.
they fly
Yep, yep, yeah. They accommodated everybody. They paid for everybody's accommodations to get
oh,
there, and
wow.
everybody who was there
Very
actually got
nice.
paid to it. Yeah, it was
Okay.
great. I mean, the budget for this thing was enormous.
The first part of the show, what happens the first part where the 2000 eliminated? How's that
Yeah,
work?
there was four challenges over 4 days in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. So where the Los Angeles or the Las Vegas Raiders play, and I was a fish out of water. I'm this guy with silver hair. Most people are in their 20s, maybe 30s. And I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, what did I sign up for? But I quickly made some amazing friends, and it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. And again,
What
we have
kind of
no
challenges they have? What was the four challenges?
those were mostly physical and teamwork. So one, like we had to split up into 5 teams of 400 when we started, and we had to pull a 10,000 pound boulder kind of up a pulley system. The last one to get it up to the top, the whole team gets eliminated. That was
Wow.
challenge one. Yeah, it was
That's,
cool.
yeah, but it's like it's not your fault. You could pick the wrong team. That's
I
not really.
know.
Oh my
I
gosh,
know.
it's
I mean, yeah,
crazy.
when you really look at all things that have to happen for you to even advance through these challenges, it's wild. The second challenge is now they put, let's call it, 300 and some briefcase, 400 briefcases out there. Some you're safe, some you're eliminated. And they give you the pattern on a big screen so you know which ones are safe. And you have to run to a briefcase and touch it before anybody else does. So if you touch it later, if you get one that has an elimination, kind of like a red mark inside of it, you're eliminated. That was number two. So that one required speed and memorization. The third one was kind of like capture the flag, where they put a bunch of flags out there, and if you cross the line, in any kind of they had different sessions, but if you cross the line, you have to either come back with a flag or you get eliminated.
Mm.
And that was number three. And the fourth was kind of like an endurance one. They put 100 people on 11 different platforms, and they start bribing people to kind of go, hey, if you jump off the platform to want to accept one of these bribes, your entire platform is eliminated. So it's a very social game, meaning where it's like you have to communicate with others, you have to enroll others to not jump off the platform. Um, but the Vegas part was a ton of fun, and you get done with it, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. Like I pulled my quadricep and kind of strained my oblique. Yeah, it was one of these things that when I get home, I'm like, and that was just to get from 2,000 to 1,000.
Did you go by yourself or you went with any other family members?
I didn't know anybody going into it.
And this was over how long a period were you in Vegas for?
Probably 5 or 6 days.
Oh, okay. And they give you
Yeah,
everything. Okay.
and then like because I thought I was going to be gone for weeks, but
Mm.
then like no, you're going to go home for a little bit, and then now the real Beast games start. And the real Beast games were filmed mostly in Toronto, and it was 1,000 contestants. It
I done a
was
thousand. Okay.
run by Amazon Prime, and it was wild. I mean, the sets were huge. It was just an absolute blast. And the good news is I made friends in Vegas, so like I had this group of friends and people I could trust to kind of start from episode one for Amazon Prime.
How long is that? Now this is on Amazon Prime, right? We could be watching. You could be watching this today, right?
Yeah,
Is
all
all the
all
episodes on Amazon Prime?
all episodes. Yeah, and spoiler alert. There's spoilers in this chat we're having. Um,
This has already been on. This is already on.
yeah, it started airing last December, and one episode came out a week. essentially, and the last episode came out early February.
Okay. So now there's 1,000 people, and there's more athletic and challenges and all different challenges coming up here.
Yeah, when we get to Amazon Prime, it was actually a little bit different because Vegas was very physical. This was mental, like psychological, a lot of chance, um, very social. Like those who made great friends, those who helped others, seem to have gone a little further than others. But there was really only one physical series of physical challenges, but you had to choose into doing physical. You had the option to do physical, mental, or chance. So it wasn't a ton of physical in this one.
Did you feel during this period that you almost got eliminated and you didn't get eliminated? Were you like close to the line on any of this?
Oh, several times.
Like,
Yeah,
can you give
there.
an example? Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, so in episode two, a very kind of elementary challenge where we had 60 of us on like this giant tower, and inside kind of the ceiling, it looked like Swiss cheese. So there was holes cut out, and they were going to drop balls down. Um, and it was one tower versus the other. We had identical setups, and the first one to drop a ball loses. And we thought we lost for an hour. So like we drop a ball, the lights go off, they kind of declare us the loser, my side. And this was again episode two.
Hmm.
And the neat thing about Mr. Beast and Amazon Prime is like they reviewed every single piece of tape for every challenge. They wanted this to be as fair as possible. So they reviewed this tape for 75 minutes, but I was already talking to my friends like, okay, it's Friday night. I'll probably fly home Saturday, connect with the family on Sunday, and I'm back to the grind on Monday. Um, but about after 75 or 90 minutes, they said, we've reviewed the tape, and actually, the other team dropped their very first ball. We just didn't see it live. So, so we got revived, and it was unbelievable. It was like
Crazy.
a really cool feeling. A lot of my friends who went far were on that platform. So it's just very neat to see how quickly the game can change when different people move on or different people get eliminated.
How long is episode two? I mean, episode two, but how long is this one in Toronto? How many days is that one?
Um, how long
How
were
long are you there for?
the entire series in Toronto? I was there for, almost about 5 weeks.
5 weeks alone. Do you fit no family? Just you went by yourself there?
So
Too?
yeah, so I was there for 5 weeks. We made a short stint in the country of Panama for episode five. And then I was fortunate to make it far enough where my family got to visit me on episode eight. So
And
the
how many?
top 10.
And you have how many kids?
I got two boys
Okay.
and my wife. So only two people could come. And my youngest son has got a rare disease, like I shared. So he stayed home with family, and my wife and my oldest son came, and it was a surprise. Like episode eight was like the best episode. It's fun. It's got some drama. It's exciting. But also I get to see my family, and it was just it was one of the happiest days truly of my life.
Now I'm sure when I watch this, if I watch when I watch your show, there's gonna be some people like really upset when they get not fair and all of the excitement and stuff like that. Doesn't that stuff happen? Like almost people have fight about what results was everybody
Yeah, I mean,
attention.
I was really surprised at, and it gave me a ton of faith in humanity. Like there was a ton of good people. Like so, there's a lot of people who wanted to play fair. Obviously, they want to play hard. People are there to play a game, but a lot of teamwork. But yeah, there's times where drama surfaces, and it was great. I mean, it was fun to watch after the fact, but it was even more fun to be there in the moment because, again, one thing that I didn't share yet is when you check in your phone, you check in your watch, you check in your laptop, you have zero access to call home, the internet, newspapers. You really don't even know what date and time it is. And
But after the day's over, you go back and you watch TV and stuff, right?
no.
What do you
So
what do you what do you sleep? What do you
yeah, from episode two on, we are housed in this thing called Beast City, where Mr. Beast built a $15 million city in Toronto, in like at this kind of converted old airport. And so we're in there sleeping in bunk beds, and it's like this isolated city. I mean, it was great accommodations, great food, but yeah, we don't have access to TV. Literally, there was times where I'm like, is it still August? Like I had no clue what time or what date it was.
wow, you don't even know what's going on at all in the world. It could be like a nuclear attack and you would
A hundred
no idea
percent.
what's
Yeah.
going on.
And we mostly filmed when we filmed outside, we filmed at night to be able to control the lighting.
Huh?
And so like your whole world's turned upside down. Like you're filming from 10 o'clock at night till 4 o'clock in the morning,
Gosh, I'm off
then
the
you
show
go to
already.
bed.
I go
And
to sleep at 10 o'clock.
yeah, oh no,
I
yeah.
lost already.
And then you wake up in the morning and we're always wearing our uniforms. So we're wearing our kind of our blue pants and our Beast Games jersey. So it's like and we just go out and we talk and we hang out. Honestly, it's like being in 1992 all over again. Like no phones, no internet.
No
You're just
phone.
hanging out with friends.
That's wild. And I guess everyone gets really close, but your friends get eliminated little by little, I guess. So the
Yeah.
episode two, you guess how many people left after episode two?
So after episode two, it got down to 250 people,
And
roughly.
now you're still on it and you go back home again?
Not home. Yeah, no, we're still in B City. So I go back to my bunk. And so like so once you're in Toronto after episode two, you're in Toronto. You're a part of B City until the end. So then after
Oh,
episode two, episode three, we had 250 people. This was a crazy little episode. This is probably the most psychologically challenging episode. Is Mr. Beast asks you to kind of pair up with two of your friends. We do a fun little potato sack race, which was just a total rug pull, like a total gimmick to get us to think the day is going to be fun. And then he says, "Hey, the guards are going to come around and we're going to handcuff you to each other." Awesome. Okay, great. We just picked friends. Now we're handcuffed to each other. And he says, "We're going to bring you into these rooms that are as bright white as you could imagine. You're going to be in here for 5 hours. And there's a red phone on the wall that says ask for anything. And the only way you can get out of this room and move on to the next challenge is if someone, one of you three, has to cuff themselves to the wall and they're eliminated." And so the red phone is to kind of go, hey, you can ask for anything that'll help you make a decision on how you guys choose to eliminate somebody or how do you choose to eliminate yourself. And so three of us go in this room and either two are coming out or nobody's coming out. Because if no one cuffs himself to the room, we're all eliminated.
hmm.
So this was a tough one where like I quickly realized, geez, nobody's going to cuff themselves. Nobody has, a desire to self-eliminate. And one of the people in our room did not want to play a game of chance. Like we could have rolled dice, we could have
Right, right.
pick a deck of cards, but one person did not want to play a game. So like we tried everything to make it go. Like so asking for everything. I'll share what I asked for. Is I asked for a phone call with Elon Musk. I figured I'll ask for anything. I figured between Elon Musk, Tesla, energy, creatine. My son's rare disease is creatine transport deficiency. His brain doesn't get the energy it needs to function and develop. So I think of Tesla, energy, creatine, Neuralink, brain.
Oh,
I can get Elon on the phone. Maybe I can ask him to dinner. I'll fly anywhere in the world to take him to dinner and see if he or his team could spin a cycle
right.
on this and figure out, okay, how can we get creatine to this kid's brain? Um, about 2 hours into it, one of the producers looked at me and goes, Jeff, you might want to ask for something else. Like, we're not getting him on the phone, which is hysterical. Um, and so later on, like, I'm like, okay, I need to ask for something else. But we were at an impasse in our room. So I asked for a clinical psychologist. So we had a clinical psychologist come into our room and try to like talk to us three people who are friends or, thought we were friends to kind of see, hey, can we get to pass this impasse and play a game of chance? After 20 minutes, it didn't happen. Um, and so the one person in our room who didn't want to play a game essentially automatically moved on to the next round. And then me and my friend Chris um, had to flip a coin. We had to flip a coin to see
Oh,
who
wow.
was going to cuff themselves to the wall and who's going to move on. I called tails, and it was tails. So Chris, being the stand-up guy he is, cuffed himself to the wall, and he was eliminated.
Wow.
So,
That's amazing. That's a crazy. The stories you got for the show, it's unbelievable.
well, we're in this very bright white room. It's like an insane asylum. Like I was missing my family so much. I was probably gone for a week, and I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, what am I like?
But when
Literally,
you
what
get
am I
a,
doing?
if you leave this show at certain points, you still get some money, right? You get paid for being on the show anyway, right?
No,
You get no money unless you win. Nothing.
Um, there's different opportunities to take bribes, and but yeah, like you don't.
How
There's
much
no like
bribe can you
automatic.
take? How much bribe do they got? What is
So
going on?
in episode one, there's opportunities for people to take up to $100,000
Oh,
to eliminate other people.
to limit other people.
Yeah, so like you had a row of like 7 or 8 people, and these bribes kept popping up, and if you pressed the little buzzer, you would get the money, you would go home, but so would the 7 people in your row.
Did a lot of
So
people,
it's
anybody do that?
oh yeah, a lot of people did.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's
That
I
was
mean
dramatic. That was a little
so
drama.
so dramatic. I mean, it is a psychologist and psychiatrist dream study
Hmm.
just to see how humans operate in different conditions, whether it be good, bad, right, or wrong. Um,
And you're
it
meeting
was,
Mr. Beast. You met Mr. Beast directly? Did you personally meet him? I guess I did in the show.
yeah, I mean, as I was fortunate to go very late in the game, obviously, and um, as you get later in the game, you get to spend more time with him, kind of in between shoots, and yeah, I got to know him as well as I could have for being on the show.
Right, right. So you got now. So you're. This is the last episode, episode three. You said whatever. I guess it's called episode three. Um, that's the final episode. I guess this is where they just.
No, there's 10 episodes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so okay, then okay, we really so
Yeah, no, yeah.
so,
So episode three after that, we got down to 100 and 160 folks, um, and then we got down to the top 10 by episode 8.
episode eight. Okay. All right. Before we get to going down to the thing, I just want to interrupt my weird facts. I don't know. They're not as exciting as yours. Trust me. I'm totally. I don't know. You're blowing me away. But did you know? I mean, I don't know if they've asked you trivia questions, but in 1793, what country was the most populous country in the world? Third most populous country in the world. In the world.
Third most.
Yes. In 1793.
Okay.
This is like, yeah, this is not $1 million, but
Yeah. I'm gonna say India.
oh, you would have lost $1 million. France.
Oh,
France.
was it? Oh,
France.
really?
Isn't that
Nice.
wild? Who
That is
picked
wild.
France? Yeah, it does. I can't believe that one. All right. I got some we're gonna go to your thing. But I'm just curious because this is interesting with this whole thing about earning monies and stuff like that. One of the issues about life and is about some people seem to become either dependent on government or dependent on people. I mean, for survival, and whether it's they're getting the food stamps or whether they're getting medical assistance all through their life. So where is the role, you would think, of people being independent because they can make it independently or government helping them? How far do we go to help another person?
Yeah. I mean, this is a question as old as time. Um, I think I think safety nets are important. Um, but I also think incentives drive behaviors. And yeah, I'm a firm believer that we are here in this world to share. And the only way you can share is through action. So how can you be a contributor? So from my point of view is how do we encourage people to be a net positive or contributor in society? Um, and I think in today's day and age, it's like you literally can get online. If you have wisdom, a product, service, you're going to find an audience who wants to receive what you're sharing. It might take some effort and time, but I think we have to encourage people to share their gifts.
See, I think the problem with this whole word disability is it should be ability. We not everybody, let's say, can have a full-time job or have whatever, but let them work a few days a week or even go to school or contribute in some way. I don't think it's healthy for a person just to get anything for free, like they don't do anything for it. Even if it's just like, I don't know, reading a pamphlet, something so you feel like you earned it. It's a better feeling than just getting something, unless it's the maximum that really, really like really, in a hospital bed type of thing. But in most cases, it's best to be able to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, one of my kind of spiritual truths is I believe you can't keep what you don't earn. And I think there's a lot of gratification and you feel good when you actually earn something.
Well, you definitely earning this show looks like. So now you at episode 10, you're down to I mean episode 8, you're down to 10 people.
Yep.
And now these people now you've been with them for a long period. These people are you getting close to them, really stronger bonds? Or there's people, some of them have a little more animosity. How's the relation when you're down to 10?
Yeah, we get down to 10 and for the most part, I mean, I knew everybody. You know them by name, you know where they're from, you get to know them really, really well. And at the time, we were all pretty darn close. And like inside these games, you think about Survivor, similar things happen at Beast Games where you get these alliances and you build strong alliances. And we had one. In the top 10, there was four people from my alliance in the top 10. So it's like,
They had another alliance, the other four.
what's that?
The other four had a different alliance. Out of the 10, there were six on the other alliance.
Well, no, there was no alliance. They were kind of independent. And the good thing about the alliance, like we had an alliance of four, but we were, and obviously it was bigger, but people got eliminated. Yeah, we were cordial with everybody. It wasn't this like
You can't
covert
get
alliance, and yeah, it wasn't like we were out to get people. But yeah, we felt good. We're like, wow, there's a 40% chance that one of us wins this thing, which is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So now, when you get down to, because we know the end, we know the victory at the end. When you get down to, was it the last two at episode 10? Is it the last? Is it two people on the last episode?
So episode 10 started with six people. And the ultimate aim was obviously to get down to a champion. And so we had four different challenges that game. The first one removed two, the second one removed one, the third one removed one, and then the final one was just a 1v1 to see who gets crowned the champion.
So then, at that moment, I was curious. So you, how now won the greatest amount of money in any game show so that's ever been. Actually, they say, is that correct?
Crazy, yeah.
And
Yeah,
your life has just totally changed at that moment. I mean, now you're not only wealthy, you're famous, probably, you got everything going in that way. And like, how do you react? And how does everybody else around you react? Like the people there, like number two. What did number two?
yeah.
Was he part of your alliance or she part of your alliance? And
She was not part of the alliance, but I mean, we were we got numbered inside Beast Games based on the flag that we pulled in Vegas, and I was number 831. The one who got number two was 830.
oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So, so we spent 2.5 days right next to each other in the first episode when we were filming that, and I got to know her, and she's awesome. She's amazing. She's a professional wrestler. She's an actress. She is extraordinarily talented, great mom. Like, she's awesome. And but she's who I wanted to go against at the end because she's such a fierce competitor. And afterward, yeah, we got to talk to each other.
Does she get
She,
anything for second place?
yeah, she did.
Okay, all right.
Um, and yeah, she gave me a big hug and congratulated me, but it was hard to stomach because she actually turned down $1 million 3 times in the show.
Hmm.
There's three opportunities for her to take $1 million. One, she could have taken $1 million, eliminated 60 people. Another time, she could have taken $1 million and not eliminated anybody. And the third, she could have taken $1 million and eliminated herself. And she turned it down every time. And so for her,
Did you have that opportunity, $1 million too? You turned it. Did you have those numbers there or no?
I only had the opportunity to turn down $1 million once.
That was just for you alone?
It was the final three. So in the second to last challenge, there's three of us there. And Mr. Beast comes out with this envelope and says, hey, inside this envelope is somebody's number. And we asked the top 50 competitors on Beast Games to rank who they wanted to win the least out of everybody. And we have the person out of you three who is ranked the least. If you think your number is in here, you can press this button and go home with $1 million. If you don't, and the first one to press it gets it. Um, and if no one presses it, whoever is in this envelope will go home with nothing.
Ooh, wow. Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, were you tempted to press this $1 million? It's nice. That's a nice way to go home. It's done.
It,
You
it is
know
a
what?
it's a great way to go home, but I made, you know, I love talking to people. I love asking questions. I love being interested in others, and I made some great inroads with the people of the top 50. And so in my mind, I looked around to
Dude's not going to be you.
yeah, I looked around and kind of go, hey, like I don't know if I'm number one, but
Mhm.
I definitely don't think I'm number three.
Right.
So so I felt confident enough that I was not in the bottom three. So I'm going, you know what? I've made it this far. Let's go to the end and let's roll the dice.
And like, okay, so is your family down for this last episode? Is everybody there, or are you by yourself? What's going on at that one
So
when you win and stuff?
I'm by myself as I know it. So my wife and my son were there in episode 8.
Wow.
Um, and I didn't realize, but they stayed as other family members did to see, if so they could be there for the final episode. So my wife and my son Jack were there for the final episode, but I did not know until after I had won.
Wow. Now, this whole show, as you said, it's all on Amazon Prime. I guess it's people watching. This must be enormous amount of budget. Must have been incredible to put this all together. You probably don't. And then the prize money. I mean, it's just like I don't. It's weird how they make money on these things. Like now, it's Mr. Beast, so he's so popular. I guess that it seems like a yeah. As I said, it's the most popular
It's,
thing. God, sorry.
yeah, no, no, yeah. I mean, you're spot on. I've thought all these things the same. So apparently, again, this is reportedly Amazon paid Mr. Beast $100 million to put on this.
Wow.
And
That's
then Mr. Beast supposedly spent more than that on it. So technically on paper, Mr. Beast and the Beast team lost money. However, what he does with his content is he always reinvests it. So in his mind, he's going, yes, I might have on paper lost $20 million on this show, but now I could probably negotiate a better deal for season 2 and season 3. And how many new followers do I have on YouTube now? How does this change my advertising? Are more people buying Feastables? I mean, he has his own chocolate brand that is doing a couple $100 million in sales after being around for 3 years. Mr.
cool.
Beast is a genius. So he's not just doing content, he also does product, and he's pretty special.
When you get, I said, now you win this incredible amount of money. The first thing you do is like, but it's also the adrenaline. I mean, you won, and like now it's just like almost like it's almost a letdown, right? It's
It's
like almost, it's like such a big feeling. Like it's like it, right? I mean, it's like what happens to your mind and everything.
it's yeah, you are spot on. It's so everybody kind of in the final, I don't know if it was final 10 or final 20, had to get processed out with a psychologist. So before you go home, whether you get eliminated or you win, like I did, you have to sit down with a psychologist. And the psychologist kind of mapped it out and said, hey, congrats, this is awesome. How are you feeling? And say, hey, I'm sure you're feeling elated. You're going to go home. You're going to be excited. Um, then for some reason, you're going to have this feeling that kind of might feel like you're depressed. Then you're going to forget about it. Then the show's about to air again. Then you watch it and you'll have all these feelings all over again. And I think the biggest challenge was you couldn't tell anybody. Like when you think about like the biggest achievements you've ever had, and like I want to tell my mom and dad, oh my gosh, like listen to what just happened. Now have
So
money.
anybody?
Yeah, I
So
have money to take care of Lucas forever who's got the rare disease. I have money to invest into research for this rare disease,
nice.
but I literally can't tell anybody
So nobody knows anything until the show's aired.
until the show's not only
Right,
aired,
so
but yeah,
where's the money? Where's the money kept? You have the money in in like a wallet. They put it in this in your wallet.
no, they don't pay you until after the final episode airs.
Oh my
So
God! Also, you don't have nothing. It's like for a while. Okay, so no, you just actually when you come back because
I
if the show
I
went bankrupt, you win.
totally no, no. There was a couple times where I'm like, am I really going to get this money? And we haven't told. So what happened was in the final episode, throughout the whole episode is or the whole series was $5 million is the grand prize. It's the largest cash prize ever. However, in the final episode, before we get started, he wheels out another pyramid of $5 million in cash. So we have two, but by the way, this is real US dollars. He wheels out, so we have $10 million in cash sitting on the set, and he goes, one of you has the opportunity to double the prize from 5 to $10 million. Here's a coin inside this briefcase. Whoever touches it has to flip it, but you don't have to if you don't want to. If you flip it and call it right, the prize gets doubled for everybody to $10 million. However, if you flip it and you call it wrong, you get eliminated. And so my friend Gage, who's an absolute stud, number 974, grabbed the coin and he said, I'm calling tails. He flips it, and guess what it was?
Tails.
Tails. So in just that moment, the prize went from $5 million to $10 million.
That's the win. That's you.
That's the win. Yeah, I mean, so
No, so I mean, your friend just that friend is really got to be your best. He's got to be your buddy for life. He
oh,
just
he,
made you a
he
lot
he will
richer.
never pay for anything in my presence. Never. But he's also the one in the final three who took the $1 million.
Oh, wow, that's funny.
Yeah, so he went
He's
out
okay. He's
as
okay
a
too.
as an absolute hero. Yeah,
What did
Gage.
he do?
He's a musician, so he's a
Oh,
very talented musician, singer-songwriter. He's also an EMT. I mean, just a big heart with a ton of talent, but he's awesome. He is stud.
okay, so as a winner of this prize, I also like to talk about investment ideas. And one of my investment ideas, based on what's going on in the economy right now and all the stuff, is empty factories, buying places that were factories at one point, because knowing that they're going to build factories more and more in this country, and these spaces are going to need to be used.
That's kind of brilliant.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, and I mean, I'm originally from Ohio, and you go into the Rust Belt and you see these, whether it's in Dayton, Ohio, or in Akron, like you see these buildings that used to be giant, like GM plants. And the foundation and structure is still there. Like that's an interesting play.
Yeah, and it's they definitely have the more coming in there. So I mean, what do you? So what now that you're done? What do you do now? What have you been doing with your life now that your life is all set, I guess, in that way? What do you do now? And how do you did you go back to work? What is your goal
Yeah,
for the
so
long
I,
term?
I've been doing a lot of this. The ultimate aim, the reason why I signed up was to be able to go and tell Lucas's story. Lucas has creatine transporter deficiency. It's an ultra rare brain disease that there's no cure. So it was discovered 25 years ago. Researchers have been working on it, but they've yet to crack the code. So my goal was, can I get on the show? Can I tell the world about it? God willing, can I win? And then can I invest some of that money into research and also make sure that Lucas is taken care of at home for life? So in a miracle that mission was accomplished. But I'm going out and still telling a story.
It,
So I've done a lot.
the sickness that he has, does it what does it in terms of his mind, what does it affect his like daily routine? How does that what happens with that?
Yeah, so a way to think about it is if you think about like an electric vehicle, if it's on low power mode, you might be able to turn on the windshield wipers, you might be able to turn on the radio, but good luck getting that thing to move, let alone, drive 60 miles an hour. So his brain doesn't have the energy it needs to function, develop, and thrive. And your brain is the organ that always needs energy. It never sleeps. It never takes a break. So his brain, although he's 7, is probably closer to being 1.5.
Oh,
So his activities of daily living are severely limited. And kids with his condition, like 60% of kids with this condition are epileptic. Some kids have to get surgery on their brains because their seizures won't turn off. Um,
and when you mentioned before about Elon Musk and the his iDevice that's going to be going to mine. Would that help at all? Is there a way like a person that has diabetes that takes an insulin shot? I know my wife has a pump, that they could actually have a pump near the brain, which is pumping in creatine on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to look at how sustainable is that, to have something kind of intracranially, I think that's how you'd pronounce it. Um, to have something hooked up to your head, like what's the risk of infection? How long can this sustain? Yeah, because it's the challenge is his body makes creatine just fine.
But this needs to go in that one area where it's missing.
Yeah, that transporter that like kind of delivers it into the brain or into the muscles is just it's misspelled is the way to look
Right.
at it. It doesn't have the right passcode. So his brain doesn't get any energy, and the blood-brain barrier is so damn good at its job that it won't let it in any other way. And so the scientists are looking at things. I think longer term, like gene therapy will happen. I think you'll be able to kind of fix that gene. But every year that goes by, it's his brain doesn't have the energy. And
Right.
even if we got creatine to his brain today, doctors and scientists say you will see a marked difference. Not like he's going to catch up and have a conversation like you and I are having, but he will be able to communicate his needs, and he'll be able to his behaviors will change. His risk of epilepsy will be decreased tremendously.
Hmm. And so you're investing in trying to find out if we can do things to help. But I think there's also some funds and charities that work with people that have certain these rare diseases and try to find new treatments and stuff. Is there a specific charity that's
Yeah,
this situation here? Did you start a new charity based on that?
no, didn't start a new one. I've been a voluntary board member at the Association for Creatine Deficiencies. It's
Oh,
creatineinfo.org, and they're the largest nonprofit 501(c)(3) that funds research. And it's an awesome group. It's all parent-led, but we have amazing relationships with researchers all across the world who are doing research. But there's only so much we can do with the money that we've raised, and
right.
obviously obviously money from Beast Games will be a huge kind of boost and bolster our research. And I don't wish any kid to have creatine transporter deficiency, but if there's ever a time to have it, it's now.
But we hopefully, God willing, we'll get to that thing.
Yeah.
All right. Phew, it's a tough one. So on the regular day that you have now, and a normal day now that you have, what do you do on a regular day now? What's it like to do that after this whole thing? What's your life on a regular basis now,
Yeah,
basically?
it's funny. I mean, everything has changed. Obviously, I wouldn't be talking to you if this didn't happen. But everything's still the same. I still drive my minivan. I coach my son's baseball team. Um,
Do people
with my
ask you for money all the time? Do you get like staff stories? Do you have cousins from South Africa that you never met in your life?
well, I mean, there's some randoms on social media who will ask for stuff, but when it comes to people I know in my community, um, they're everybody knows my mission. My mission is to help my son and kids like my son. And so no one's asking for anything, which is great. But yeah, it's interesting to see what happens on the internet and people asking for stuff.
It's funny because I do another part of the show about conspiracy theories, and you probably get solve some of them, like Bigfoot, whether it really exists. You could really use the money to explore.
It's funny because that's what Gage, the guy who flipped the coin and then took the $1 million, right now he's doing some treasure hunting.
Oh, really? Looking for all the
Yeah,
treasures? That's
so
funny.
he's taking a
Are,
little bit
are
of the
you
funds
going to
to
do
find.
more work with Mr. Bean? Mr. Beast?
Yeah,
Mr.
I
Beast?
would do work with Mr. Bean too. No, but I would love to. He has a pretty neat philanthropic arm too called Beast Philanthropy that he just recently fitted 2,000 people with prosthetics who either couldn't afford it or their countries didn't have insurance like that. He's built wells for people in Africa. Like I would love to support his philanthropic side. But yeah, I would. I mean, I had so much fun. Like Beast Games was an absolute blast. Obviously, I won. I'm a little bit biased, but even if I didn't, made so many friends. It was like an adult summer camp, and to not have your phone for 6 weeks, it was like freedom.
Wild, wild thing. That's
So
scary.
yeah,
But that brings us to my topics of hate. So I like
okay,
to bring up hate. Everyone brings up love. I hate losing things.
yeah.
I can't stand it when I had something and I'm looking all around and how much time I'm wasted trying to find the damn freaking thing. Half the time it's right in front of my face. But losing things is it's one of the most annoying things. Do you still lose?
Um, my wife is like a kind of like a library system when it comes to things in the house. Like I literally can ask her like, "Hey, do you know where so and so is? Have you checked the second drawer behind the pencils?" Like she just knows where stuff is.
Makes your
Uh,
life. You don't have
yes.
that problem. Wow, that's a nice one to
Yeah.
have.
So, but yeah, I mean, I am kind of a minimalist, so I don't have a ton of like knickknacks and stuff. But like the thing that I've kind of misplaced the most around the house is my phone. But it kind of works out well because I could probably use not having it for a
Having
long
the phone
time.
all the time. And did you splurge on something when you first got? Did you just say, I made this one? Did something you wanted to buy, whether it's a car or something? Just have something a little crazy you just wanted to get when you got the money.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing we did is, even though we live in California, we never have gone on a family like beach vacation. So we went to Hawaii, um, didn't think about what we were spending on food or toys, and we had an absolute blast. So that was kind of what we splurged on. But like, yeah, I haven't bought a Ferrari, haven't bought a boat. Um, but yeah, it's different. I mean, it's different, and it's what the biggest gift it's given us is a ton of peace of mind to make sure that Lucas is taken care of and his older brother Jack truly gets to be his brother and doesn't have to have this kind of weight on him that, hey, I need to be his caretaker and make sure he's taken care of. Obviously, he's going to help him out and care for him. But the money allows us to kind of set up their lives a little differently.
That's great. That's really nice. I was gonna say, I once went to this thing, and people talk about going to psychics and stuff, and because they know something about you that you don't know about. But you know who does also know that about you more than anybody else, and they
Hmm.
feel things that you never thought you can get? A therapist. It's very interesting. People can look into you a lot differently than you can look into yourself.
I
And you were
believe it.
talking about how that when you win this money, they asked you, they're gonna have this depression part of it. Did you actually get to that point where you were a little depressed and maybe helped and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
I don't know if it was depression, but I was definitely off because you spend 6 weeks in this kind of suspension of reality where they tell you where to go, what to do, the food's always served. You have friends. Like it truly felt like being back in 1992 all over again, which was awesome. Um, and then you get out. I won all this money. I can't tell anybody, but I'm like, what do I do? Like I dropped the kids off to school, but now what? Do I just go back? Like why I just so it was this weird feeling of um lack of sense of direction on what to do next.
And
And
so, what would you tell people who win out of somewhere like a prize like this? What would you tell them how to deal with it emotionally and go through this type of currency? You hear about a lot of people that win these lot. You earned it
yeah.
more than these people that win lotteries, but they win things and they actually are very despondent. A lot of them really just it doesn't work out at all for them. There's a whole pattern of that. What would you
Yeah,
tell people that happens to
yeah,
when?
I mean, it, from my experience, I would say, don't make any big decisions for at least 30 days. And if it's something that has to be confidential, I'd ask whoever the third party is who's going to give you the money if you can have some people sign NDAs that you can talk to. So, I asked the Beast team that if there is like a financial advisor that I could, or, a tax attorney, like, hey, can I get them to sign NDAs? And they did. So I didn't feel alone. And so I think if you get this money, um, I said before, I don't think you can keep what you don't earn. Sometimes you get a gift where it's like, how did I earn this? Well, guess what? I think you have to earn it in arrears. Or sometimes you work your butt off and you earned it. Okay, great. So like I think like if you have to just be honest with yourself, is like, was this like a just something that fell in my lap? Okay, how do I earn this money, this light after the fact? And then how do I surround myself with people who want my best and kind of can help me figure out what my vision, my values are?
So when this show was airing, okay, it starts airing, you start telling you told you, oh, I was on the show. You know how you like to tell your friends you're on the show,
Yeah.
and then they're watching the show. Are they watching? You don't tell. You can't tell them who won. So it's
Yeah, no,
maybe
I didn't tell any. I didn't tell my mom or my dad.
so like maybe they're watching the show. Like they oh all right. I don't. Did anybody like drop off the show and say I don't know he's not going to win it? Or does everyone still watch it till the end? Because they
Um,
don't know if you're going to win. So does everyone still watch it till the end? And then like all of a sudden what's their reaction?
yeah, I mean, as long as like, I mean, the thing about the show, it's an awesome show. So like, once you start watching, you're like, oh my gosh, like, how does? Because Mr. Beast makes very elementary challenges. Like, we had to stack blocks, like it seems super simple, but it was entertaining to watch. He makes things that are simple, exciting, and spectacle. So like, once you watch, you're like, oh my gosh, this is great. And the fact that I was still in, people kept watching. But people always ask, like, how'd you do? Like, and my kind of token answer, at least at the beginning, was like, hey, I really wish I won 5 million bucks, but it wasn't in the cards for me.
So I mean, then they find that you won, and like, are they like pissed you didn't say anything, or they're like, what's their reaction? Like,
No,
did everyone start calling you like with the last episode? All of a sudden, your phone started going crazy. You knew that
yeah, the day the
the
final
last.
episode airs, yeah, I had hundreds of text messages, thousands of DMs online because I told my family, um, I told my family I have a big family, so I have my
You told
parents.
your wife knows you won, so
Yeah,
that
yeah, it was great. So my wife and my oldest son knew I won, but all my sisters, I have four sisters, and my parents, I told them, I said, hey, like it's the final episode. I would treat this like they're big Ohio State football fans. Like treat it like a tailgate. Like obviously, like you don't want to get spoiled on who wins an Ohio State game. So just get together, watch it earlier in the morning. You can see how my journey ends. And so 20 of them got together, had breakfast, and they watched it at 7:30 in the morning the day it aired. And there's a reaction videos of them, and they're awesome because like
that's
they were.
hysterical.
And then I'll share this with you. One of the producers said to me, and all of us, I think it was in the top six, like think about all the fun you had, the emotions that you experienced, the friendships you made, the highs, the lows uh, throughout filming this. Believe it or not, people at home are going to feel the same way. If you tell them how you got out, when you got out, if you won, how much money you won, you're going to take away that experience from them. It's
Hmm.
not fair to do. So that combined with the NDA was like, I'm not saying a word.
If you slept, you would lose that money. Is that the
Oh
NDA?
yeah, no, yeah, the NDA is crystal clear. Like
Oh my
we
gosh.
will claw this back.
Wow. Wow.
But if you watch my family's reaction videos of them watching it and see me win, it was totally worth keeping that secret. I would have kept it even a year longer if I had to.
If you want to know more about you and what you do and keep track, is there a certain type of social media you want people to know about or anything like that?
Of course, yeah. You can find me on mostly on Instagram, but also on TikTok, legacy.831. And I've also kind of put some content together on YouTube. So Legacy 831 official, or go to my website,
And,
legacy831.com.
and in terms of what your next pursuit, I mean, is there anything like you want to do, like any type of movies, any type of things, anything else you're interested, going to work with Mr. Beast or anything else that any other new adventures you have on that
Yeah,
line?
I mean, I've dabbled in kind of musical theater over the years, locally, nothing big. But yeah, I love entertainment. I love content creation. I love having conversations
We're
like
gonna have to talk
this.
after the show. All right, I got.
Yeah.
I wanted let's talk. We always like to end on a hopeful note, and I think it's really powerful. Sometimes you talk about things, and there's like something that comes out of what you've done previously in writing. And what you explained to me today is about the toughest door, basically. Sometimes you need to get through the toughest door. The doors, you got some doors that are a little light, and you got this really tough door. And a lot of people just go through the light doors in life, and they don't want to challenge themselves to the toughest door. But you never know, as my friend Jeff would say, what's behind the toughest door if you don't push through. So God willing, you get the energy and the power and push yourself through, and you never know, you might win a Mr. Beast challenge, anything like that as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and all the best, everybody. God bless.